Now here we are on a Sunday morning, towards the end of February. There's the old pop-up camper. We're gonna pull it out of here and put it in the big shop and do a little work on it. I've had this thing for about 15 years. It's a 1987, I believe. And I've got a lot of use out of it. Last year, this is the one I took on a long trip. You can see I have my solar shower on the side. It's a little low, but it worked. I couldn't put it all the way on top because the way the pop-up top works is kind of heavy. You can see it's kind of all hunkered in right now. It's on its cradle. I can roll it around in the driveway here. But we're going to put the stands on it, put it on the back of the truck, and move it into the big shop. And I'm going to do some work on the inside and work on the canvas for the pop-up unit. We are up on stanchions. This thing originally came with only 3 stanchions, but I found a set of them on Craigslist a couple years ago, and I replaced the 3 that it came with these 4, and I had to redo it. It had 2 on this side, actually 1 on this side, and it had 2 on this side. So these little extenders here are something the previous guy that I had bought it from about 10 years ago or 15 years ago. He put those on so we could get a full-size truck back in here, and I use a half-ton truck on it too. I don't have a big truck, but so anyway, there it is up on the stanchions. I'm gonna go get my truck here and we're gonna haul this thing around. Now here's the camper sitting on the back of the rig. We're leaving the stanchions on it for right now because I'm just moving it over into the big shop. So that's kind of what she looks like. The old 4 Chevy pickup truck, I bought that brand new in 2004. I can't see any reason to upgrade. It's only got 100,000 miles on it. I just turned over 100,000 last year. So yeah, this has been a lot of fun, this rig. So we're gonna do some work on it. We are in the shop. So I can actually leave this. I'm just, when I bring it in the shop like this, which I don't do very often, I just leave it on the stanchions. So it's basically the camper is sitting on the stanchion poles. It's not really sitting on the back of the truck. But this way I can back my truck in here and I can store my truck in the garage, and the camper is in the garage. And I can drive my truck in and out and use it whenever I need to. But this truck doesn't get a lot of road time anymore because we work out of a van. So there it is. The truck is in the shop. I'm gonna pop the top up and I'll show you later on exactly what I'm gonna do. I got a lot of little projects I wanna do to this camper. Like I said, I've had this thing for a long time and I really like this little 4-wheel pop-up. It's been a great camper over the years. Okay, over and out for now. Good morning, everybody. So today I have a little break in the action, and I was gonna do a little work on the old pop-up camper here today. You can see I have it in the shop. We hauled it in here the other day. I haven't gotten much done on it, but there's a few projects I want to do with this thing. I'm gonna do a little walk around. We'll do the outside now, and then I'll pop it up and we'll look around on the inside what I want to do. Most of what I want to do is on the inside. The outside's pretty good. And you can see the roof is in pretty good shape. You know, it's got a couple hatches up there and they all work fine. It's got a little rack somebody built at one point or another. I don't use that because I don't want the weight up there. But you know, it's got the full awning. You can see it's got a nice awning, and I'll set that up after I pop it up and set it up here in the shop in its full glory. It's a 1988 4-wheel pop-up camper, and I bought it in, like, I want to say 2000, early 2000s. I don't know, 2003, 2005, somewhere around there. You know, it originally came with only 3 of these stanchions or legs to pull it off, the jacks, camper jacks. It had 2 on this side, and the previous owner actually extended these out so you could put it on a full-size pickup. It's built for a mid-size. I don't know how though. This thing, it weighs about 1,200 pounds, and I have a half-ton Chevy pickup truck, and I have airbags on it, and you know, I can't imagine putting this on a smaller truck than a half-ton, but apparently that's what it's made for. So he made those little extensions on there, and they're not very beautiful, but they're very functional. You know, I take the jacks off when I have it in use. So this side here only had 1 jack on it. Yeah, there was only 1 jack right in the middle here, and it was mounted right here. You can see the holes and where it was bolted on. So it only had 1 jack. So I found this set of 4, and they're also off of a 4-wheel camper, a newer version. So these are rated at 2,000 pounds a piece. So, you know, the camper would fail before they would fail. However, when it's up on these jack stands like this, when you're walking in it and it's not bolted to the camper, it's still a little shaky in there. So I just set it down on top of these little cheap sawhorses here just to give it a little stability while I'm walking around, but I'm not afraid of it falling even without it. I think I pointed this out before. This is just a little makeshift solar shower that I put on there last year when I took it on I took this thing on a trip around the country. I'm not sure if I said that already, but you know, I left here and I went through Idaho and Montana, dropped down into Wyoming, went through Yellowstone, popped out of there, dropped down into you know, through Wyoming, Nebraska, drove all the way to the East Coast, all the way through Pennsylvania, and went to New Jersey. Then I drove down the East Coast, you know, through North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia, down to Florida, went down into the Florida Keys, and yeah, came across all the southern states, went through, love Biloxi, Mississippi. So yeah, I think I already showed this in a previous video, but these are some of the places I actually went on that little trip. So yeah, I picked up a little couple stickers all the way along. Now this is one thing I want to do here. This little light here is broken. It actually still works. I don't know if I have a battery hooked up right now, but actually all the batteries are out. I took the batteries out of this and put them in my van. This was my setup before I built the van. The van I just built this winter. Here it is now, the end of March, and you know, I'm not ready to cut loose of this camper yet. I still might use it on my truck, but I have some work I want to do on it, you know. And there's my back to blue and my Gadsden flag and the American flag. So anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and set this up, pop this camper up, and we'll go from there. All right, so the first step here, first step on the camper is release all the tie downs. This is actually higher than it sits on the truck. All right, now I'll go inside and lift it up. When I'm using this thing, I usually carry this little two-stepper around. I I just set it inside on the floor, and then wherever I park, I just set it outside because it is a little hike to get up inside this thing. Well, there it is all popped up. You can see the canvas on this thing is in great shape all the way around. And I'll show you the stuff on the inside I want to do here. This side here has a couple of small little tears in it because of the wood on the inside I need to replace is kind of coming apart a little bit. This deck lid here, where the little double bed is on the inside, this was all replaced by the previous owner. He took the plywood out. Apparently this got left outside at some point. The water accumulated along this edge and rotted this piece of plywood out. So he took that piece of plywood out, he replaced it, and he put this waterproof, I believe when they come from the factory, this is just plywood, and he put a waterproof, a shower membrane type sheeting in there, stuff you buy at Home Depot. So yeah. There it is popped up. I think I'm going to go ahead and, just while I got this going, I'll go ahead and open up this awning too. This may take me a minute. I've only used this awning like 2 or 3 times since I've had it. We used it a lot when my kids were little. When my kids were young, we took this thing camping a lot. Me and the kids would load this up and we'd actually take the boat. I had a little 19-foot Rhinell, an older one. And we'd take this camper and the boat, go east of the mountains with, we'd follow the Blightses over there. A buddy of mine, Mitch, I kind of copycatted him. He had the truck and the camper and the boat. Of course, he had a nicer boat, a nicer truck, and a nicer camper. But you know what? This all worked just fine. So we kind of followed them. I followed them over east of the mountains, and we did that quite a few times when the kids were little, and that was a lot of fun. This camper got a lot of use back then, but I just decided to keep it, took it on my little run last year. Now I'm not going to part with this thing yet. And it goes like that. Another little leg in here. That. That's the actual awning, and that's the thing that holds it straight out. See if I can remember how to do this. That goes like that. Those go to the outside. Yeah. I think I can probably grab both of these. And you just start walking this thing out. Oh, it's actually got a little water in it. Well, good. I'm going to dry it out real good too while I'm at it. putting the right pressure on it now. I'm just going to walk that thing out little by little. Well, the spring still works really well in it, I'll tell you that. I think that's about enough. I don't think you ever need more than that. I'll trim this one out to the same. That put tension on it. There. Now you just adjust it how you want. It has little holes so you can pin it down with a couple stakes if you want. So then this you can bring it down whatever angle you want so the rain can run off. There you have it. It all still works really good. There's no holes in it. No holes. It's all in great shape. There's a little bit of water right here at the very front of it. That's it. I think it's a good one. A little bit of water up there, but of course it's all got this brown and beige color from the 1980s. Actually a pretty neat camper. Top of the line in its day for one of these pop-ups. But you know, it all still works really well. So I'm going to go ahead and shut this off, get some lights, and go on the inside and show you what I'm going to work on there.